I don't know about you, but I don't know how to answer the problems of the world. Do you? So what I know is I need to look at it, but I need to keep the truth foremost in my mind. That's what I mean when it says the best defense is not to attack the world and the illusions, but to protect the truth, to let the truth lead the way. That doesn't mean we deny the things that are going on. The more we attack something, we deny it, and the more powerful it gets. But the more we focus on the truth in the midst of the thing, so a cancer diagnosis, any other diagnosis we may have, a world issue, a problem with a relationship, the more we look at it, and then I will step back and let him lead the way, that we focus on the truth. We look at it and focus on the truth. It's almost like, I go back to the 3D pictures. Remember those dotted pictures that came out? What did they come out in the late 80s, or I mean early 80s, late 70s? Remember those things where I'd always stand in front of the stores in the mall, and they'd have those dots, and you'd have to blur your eyes and kind of focus, and all of a sudden dolphins would be jumping out of the water, or you'd see the Statue of Liberty. Remember those 3D pictures you'd look into? And, you know, you'd stand there in front of these stores, and you'd be looking at this, and people go, I got it, and I'd go, I didn't get it. You know, trying to see it. Everybody else is getting it, and you're not getting it, right? Have you ever been like that? You don't get it, everybody else is getting it. And then one day, when you relax and stop trying so hard, all of a sudden you get it. And you think, wow, I finally got it. Well, you were getting it all the time. You were learning the techniques, and you finally got it. It finally was there. Well, see, that's the way truth works. It's always working. This is always working. Whenever we ask for help, it is given us. The Course is constantly telling us, God never says no. If you're asking for his help, he says, absolutely. And then you go running off doing something else. So he's always giving you a yes, I'm here to help you. You bet. Let me help you with this. Let me help you with this. And we're the ones that are going, nah. So what this is saying is, it's time for us to want that more than the illusion, to focus on this more than the illusion. That's all this is saying here. Just realize that. If you want illusions to walk ahead of truth, well, then that's madness. But if you want to not deny the illusions, but just allow the truth to have foremost place in your mind, what happens is the illusion has less and less power over you. And pretty soon, it's done. You probably saw the movie A Beautiful Mind. Did anybody see that movie? That was about that famous math professor. I can't even remember his name, but yeah, he won a Nobel Prize. I can't remember his name. Nash, yes, Nash. And so what did he have? He was schizophrenic, and he would see other people who would be talking to him. And what ended up happening was he would focus on those, and those became the reality to him. And that as he began to go through some treatments towards the end of the movie, those visions were still there. The people that he spoke to were still in the background, and he was asked, because he finally did get his life together, and they said, do you still see these people? Do you still see these visions? And he says, I do, but I don't pay attention to them anymore. And the visions were no longer, they were the little girl and the guy, if you remember it. And they were sitting in the back of the room with their hands kind of folded. You know, the characters. It was like the idea that they're in the background, but they have no power over him anymore. Only the power that they have is where he focused. So think of your own life. You say, I don't like this, I don't like that, this is going on in my life, that's going on in my life, and you're angry about it. Think about where your focus is in the midst of that. You know, is it on the problem? Because if it's on the problem and we're angry about it and we're upset about it, it is going to be foremost in our minds. Now, again, I'm not saying we deny it, we just take the hotness off of the issue. Meaning, step back and let him lead the way in this. Let me step back here and think of something else. Have you ever had a problem in your mind, you don't know how to solve it, and then you go do something else with some friends and have some fun, or do something, and all of a sudden you go, oh, I know how to deal with that. You know? All of a sudden it's there. They call that secondary thinking. If you take your attention off of the problem, many times your brain can come up with a solution that you could not get to when you were so focused on it. That's the same idea here. What happens is what Lois said. How much nonsense that was. My mind was so angry about the person who left that poop right there next to the can where they could have just easily put the poop in. But they didn't do it. You know, why couldn't they do it? And then the distance she got from it was like, I don't need to think about that anymore. It's kind of silliness. Same thing with us. I know you think there are some burning issues in your life that are just so important that your judgment is so necessary to keep the world running in order, right? Yes, I know there is, because I feel like that many times, that your focus on this problem is so necessary. And what the Course would say, no, your focus on the solution is so necessary to heal this. If everything is an extension of love or a call for love, you know the answer. That's the answer. Not keeping your attention on the problem.